Hey everybody, happy Friday. Super glad that you're here. Today we're going to talk about one of those things that is hard for founders to get. It's hard for me to get. Here it is. You don't need a bigger team. You just need better structure. Now, I know that that might sound a little bit backwards. It did to me, right? Most founders who feel stretched think the answer is more people, more hands, more bodies to help carry the weight. And sometimes, sure, absolutely, you do need to hire. But in most cases, adding more people to a broken structure only multiplies the chaos you live in. You're going to end up with more conversations, more confusion, more rework, and more of your time being eaten by managing the very thing you thought was going to set you free. The myth that keeps leaders trapped is the idea that structure is about control, that putting clear lanes, clear rhythms, and clear expectations in place somehow is going to limit creativity or slow the team down. The belief is that structure creates rigidity, and rigidity is dangerous in a business world that moves fast. So you keep things loose, right? You tell yourself, hey, I'm flexible, I'm agile, I'm adaptable. You pride yourself on it, and you think the less that you pin down, the easier it will be to change course when you need to. I did the same thing. But let me tell you what actually happens. Without structure, everything defaults to you. You become the bridge between every person and every decision. You become the translator between this department or that client and that employee. You become the filter for what is urgent and what can wait. And then without realizing it, you've built a business that can only move as fast as you can personally touch it and push it. It's not freedom. It's not agility. That's being handcuffed to your very own creation. Now, when people hear me say that structure is freedom, they sometimes kind of look at me like, you're nuts. You don't know what you're talking about. But let me explain. Just let me explain. Structure done right, it's not about micromanaging. It's about creating the container that is strong enough to hold the business without you having to hold every single piece of it. It's about building decision paths that you don't need to be standing in the middle of. It's about giving your team the clarity to run without stopping at your desk every few minutes. Just think about the times when you've been most stressed as a leader. Was it because your team had too much clarity? Was it because your calendar had way too much order to it? Was it because you knew exactly how the next week was going to flow and how everyone was following it? I'm being silly, I know. Of course not. It was the opposite. It was when there were way too many open loops. It was when you were walking into each day unsure what was waiting for you, right? What's going to happen today? When your team kept interrupting you because they were unsure too. When you could not see the bigger picture because you were buried in the smallest of details. This is what a lack of structure really feels like. It's noisy, it's messy, it's unpredictable, and it's exhausting. So just imagine for a second the opposite. Imagine walking into a Monday and knowing exactly which decisions are coming your way that day. Knowing that the meeting on your calendar, all those meetings, are there for a reason and will end with very clear outcomes. Or knowing that the team is moving through the week with a shared rhythm. So you don't have to wonder if something is being handled or if it's right back coming to your desk. That is what a rhythm-based business actually feels like. It's not about stripping away spontaneity. It's about giving you the space for that. Because when the core of your business runs on rhythm, you're not in constant fight or flight mode. Your brain is not scanning for the next problem to jump onto. You have the space to think. You have the space to create and the space to see opportunities instead of just putting out fires. So I worked with a founder recently who swore to me, I cannot possibly take my hands off the wheel. Her business was in a really busy growth stage, and she was convinced, absolutely convinced, that more structure would actually slow her team down, because she was thinking more meetings, more checklists, more management energy that would choke out the creative problem solving that they prided themselves on. But what was really happening was that our lack of structure was creating an invisible tax on every single thing that they did. Her team would start a project and get about halfway through it before they realized that they were missing key information. So they would circle back to her for it, and she would stop what she was doing to give the answer, and by the time she got back to her own work, she had lost all momentum. Multiply that by a dozen interruptions a day, and her focus was in tatters before she got to lunch. Now, the team thought they were moving fast because they were always in motion, but motion and fast aren't always the same thing, because in reality, they were losing hours backtracking and re-explaining. So we installed a weekly operating rhythm that mapped decision-making, approvals, and updates into very specific windows. Took about a week for a team to adjust, but by week 2, they were solving more things without her. And by week 3, she told me that she had gotten back about 8 hours that she didn't have before. Now, she didn't just throw those hours away, and it's not because she was doing less, but it was because she was doing the right things at the right time without being pulled sideways every hour. This is why I say structure is freedom. Freedom is not just having fewer tasks on your plate. A lot of people think that. It's about having the ability to choose where you put your energy without the whole system falling apart in your absence. Structure creates that. It allows you to step away from the mundane without having to brace for impact. It lets your team move forward without needing you to bless every single step. Now, people resist structure because they picture it as rigid lines on a page. But I want you to think of it more like music, right? Music without rhythm is noise. It might have all the right notes, but without timing and flow, it does not connect. Your business is the same way. Without rhythm, all the good ideas, all the good people, all the good intentions, they just collide with each other. Now with rhythm, everything finds its place, and then everything moves together. In a rhythm-based businesses, Monday might be for setting the direction and locking in priorities. The middle of the week might be for the really deep work, uninterrupted by those unnecessary check-ins. And then Friday might be for closing loops down and clearing the deck so that the next week starts fresh. Now, your team knows when to bring you in and when to keep moving without you. Your meetings now have a purpose and an endpoint. You do not have to guess where your attention is needed because the structure already decided that for you. Here's the part that leaders love once they have a chance to experience it. Structure actually makes you more creative, not less. When your brain is not constantly occupied with remembering who is doing what and when, you have the mental space to see patterns, to make connections, and imagine new moves. The irony is that the more freedom you want to create, the more structure you need to hold it. So if you're tired of being the one that everyone depends on for every decision, if you're tired of feeling like your business owns you instead of the other way around, you do not need to grow your payroll first. You need to build a structure that holds you. This is what makes the difference between a business that drags you along and a business that carries you. This is exactly what I walk through in the Founders Glue Trap training. I show you how to install a structure that runs without leaning on you for every single move. I show you what a real rhythm looks like in practice, how to set it up, and how to get your team aligned to it so they protect it as much as you do. If that's the kind of freedom that you want, the system's already built for you. Go watch the training. It's free, it's on demand, and it will change the way you think about leadership forever. You can find it at pinpointwebinars.com. I promise you, it is worth every minute that you spend on it, and it can change a lot of things for you. Now, on Monday, I'm going to be back here. I'm going to be talking about one of those things that not a lot of people like to talk about. You don't want to miss it. Come back, check it out Monday evening right here. And in the meantime, go to pinpointwebinars.com and watch it. It's going to change your life. See you guys on Monday.